In the last lesson, we touched on the fact that a salesperson is not an employee of a broker or an agency, but is in fact an independent contractor. Now, let's take a closer look at the difference between those two things and what it means when you are an independent contractor. Remember how there are different agencies that set the rules for real estate? Just like some of the laws that affect how you do your job as a salesperson operate on the state level and some on the federal level, there are different agencies that have determined the legal status of your employment as a real estate salesperson. In this case, the two agencies that are relevant to defining how the job of a real estate salesperson works are the State Licensing Board, which will grant you your real estate license, and the IRS, who you will be paying taxes to once you begin making money. State licensing views the relationship between the salesperson and the broker as much more like a traditional employee-employer relationship. There are many other professions where a person is an independent contractor for another person or company, but in those contractual agreements, it's common for the independent contractor to assume all liability for their own actions. In real estate, a broker is viewed as having the responsibility over the salespeople that they hire and are acting as supervisors. This is one of the reasons why it's so important that a salesperson and their sponsoring broker make an independent contractor agreement. Somewhat like an employment agreement, this lays out what both the salesperson and the broker can expect from each other. Because a real estate salesperson must file taxes as an independent contractor and not as an employee of the agency for which they work, there are a number of rules that the IRS makes that define what an independent contractor is and what they are not. Because you are not an employee of your broker is not allowed to tell you what hours you have to work. You determine what your work schedule is. Your broker is also not allowed to set a work location. While it is often conducive to business to do many tasks in the office, if you and a client decide to meet at Starbucks, your sponsoring broker can't tell you not to. And if you decide that you'd prefer to spend the morning doing online marketing from home, the broker does not have a say. It's important to remember that while a broker does not get to tell you when or where to work, if they don't like the ways in which you conduct business, then they can release your license, also known as getting fired. So, if you prefer to work late in the evenings and on the go, but the broker you're thinking of working with believes strongly in the virtue of working in the office from the crack of dawn, then perhaps you are not a good fit. Most brokers are accepting of different styles of work so long as they get deals done while maintaining integrity. The broker is also not allowed to pay the salesperson a salary. As an independent contractor in real estate, all of your earnings must be commission-based. This is a commission from your dealings with the broker, not your dealings with the client. If the broker always does a flat fee with the clients, and you have agreed to a 50% split, then you would receive 50% of the flat fee paid to the brokerage on your deals. Sometimes you will see a brokerage that offers to pay new agents a weekly draw when they get started. While this might look like a salary, it is in fact an advance that will be paid back by being deducted from future earned commissions. A real estate agent may receive bonuses, such as when the top earning agent in an office gets additional compensation each month but the IRS prohibits independent contractors from being compensated for the number of hours worked. A salesperson may only be paid for the services they have provided. The final thing that a broker cannot do is control the activity of the salespeople they have hired. They can, however, supervise that activity. If they see you doing something that is against ethics or against the law, then acting in a supervisory capacity, they will tell you to stop. Additionally, a good broker will also guide their salespeople in how to best attract clients and close deals. When you think of the fact that it is you and not the broker you are working under who is in control of all the actions you take in the real estate industry, it's a good idea to think of your career in real estate not as a job, but as a business, your business. And it is your responsibility to take the actions to make that business thrive and grow. As a salesperson, you will also have additional responsibilities, including paying for your own expenses, such as travel and supplies. A brokerage might choose to pay for advertising for clients or the company, as well as general office expenses. But expenses that you incur, including those for things that you use to build relationships with the client and attract customers, are your responsibility. A salesperson is also responsible for all of their own memberships and education. While a brokerage will usually purchase MLS for the entire office, if you want to join the National Association of Realtors, you must pay your own dues, as well as the costs of licensing and taking classes. The IRS requires several things of employers which are not required of people hiring an independent contractor. An employer must withhold taxes from what is paid to their employees, and they must also contribute Social Security taxes. In many instances, an employer is also required to provide health insurance for employees. Because salespeople are independent contractors, not employees, none of these things pertain to them. And while it might seem great that no taxes will be deducted from your pay, it just means that paying your taxes will be your sole responsibility, which is the topic of a future lesson.